When a career-ending injury and a messy breakup send prima ballerina Daniela Verdi back to Queens, New York, she fills her days with countless distractions, meaningless sex, Pinot Grigio, and video games. It takes a chance meeting with her brother's best friend, Vincent Labate, for her to remember who she was before the stage lights and distractions of the Upper West Side. She's convinced that Vincent could never love a girl like her, broken, insecure, and stumbling her way through life. What Daniela didn't count on is that Vincent is as scarred as she is after divorcing his cheating wife and going through an equally messy child custody fight. Soon enough, old vulnerabilities rear their ugly heads, opening a crack in Daniela's perfectly imperfect romance. As Daniela and Vincent's relationship develops, will Daniela learn to accept that a dream life isn't all it's cracked up to be? Hello everyone, and welcome once again to the Heir's Lair. I'm your host, Jonathan Taylor. Today's video serves as a follow-up from last week's video where I interviewed Rachel Corsini, and on this occasion I thought I would be reviewing her novel debut, and yeah, I'm picking you up this time because I want to show you something. Today's review subject, Sushi and Sea Lions. And yeah, this is the lucky couple right here. For some reason, I kept reading Vincent as black, even though he really isn't. And also, he's called Mr. Clean at some point in the book, even though I don't know, he doesn't really give me Mr. Clean vibes. Let me know if you think if you get that impression from him. And in case you're wondering why I'm why I'm showing you the cover and reading the synopsis off the laptop rather than the tablet, as I... Well, now you're seeing that. In case you're wondering why I'm reading the synopsis and showing you the cover from my laptop rather than my tablet as I typically do, well, that's because my tablet right here has died, and I'm now currently parading its corpse. I still decided to keep it because it would not be the first time that one of my electronics has experienced the Lazarus syndrome. But still, I don't have particularly high hopes, but I do have hopes at least. So for now, I am not really content with disposing of it. Anyway, you're not here to hear about my my messy situation. You're here to find out something else. I will, however, say that the tablet will make appearances in a few videos that are scheduled to release over the next week. So be on the lookout for that if you're interested. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. As has been revealed in last week's interview, this book has been written to describe a particularly messy part of the author's own life, and it is a part of her life that she overcame partly through writing this book, which means that it is a little bit harder to discern where exactly reality ends and fiction begins, which in turn means that reviewing this book is going to be a little trickier than than it would be with reviewing other books. Nevertheless, I am still going to give it my my best try. The TLDW for this review is, if you've ever wondered what Sex and the City would look like if the characters were millennials instead of Gen X, then I can pretty safely say that this book is it comes closest I've noticed so far to actually answering that question, or a question such as that one. It has a varied cast with plenty of engaging sensibilities and naturalistic behaviors, going through wide varieties of events, occasionally dipping into melodrama when the uglier parts of their personality are forced out. So yeah, if that particular niche, facet, or subdivision, whatever you want to call it, of women's contemporary literature is to your liking, then it is quite likely that you will enjoy reading this book. And now that I'm done with the general information, it's time I delved into some specifics. The plot of this book follows Daniela Verdi, a former prima ballerina for the New York City, not for the, with the New York City Metropolitan Opera Ballet Company. Forced to retire due to injury, the book catches up to Daniela as she goes through her post-shock stupor, unsure what to do with herself. Eventually, she finds various portions of a new life to tether herself to, stuff that is also to her liking, more or less. But she still finds that there are some kinks that she has to work out. From that, from that point forward, the story this book tells is very quotidian in a sense, as Daniela encounters various figures from both her familial and occupational past, and tries to figure out how to most effectively integrate them within her new life, if she is to integrate them at all, that is. So if the events themselves aren't particularly remarkable, what about the presentation? Well, this book is very much written from a first-person point of view, and as such, all of the events within it unfold in a very focused manner, as the various events and characters that that this book highlights are slotted in as they show up in a linear, naturalistic, plausibly logical manner, and all the consequences thereof. Sorry about that. All the consequences thereof are presented in that in that same way, with that same development. In terms of characterization, I have to say that pretty much every character has something about them that will make at least one reader find them particularly appealing. That leads to a surprisingly varied and vibrant cast, even though it is not particularly dynamic. If I'm to be perfectly honest, it is really only Daniela and her love interest that receive any deeper level of characterization. And of the two, it is very much Daniela who receives the bulk of it. Probably more so than any other main character of any other book I reviewed, as the book is very is very, very much written from her perspective, and as such, nothing is left off the table in terms of exploring her desires, her fears, her assessments, her the way she analyzes situations, what the most appropriate response is, how she, or more likely how she relates to things. This is very much the Daniela Verdi show, and I'll actually give the author credit because because this character is done in a very vivid, very vibrant manner that really allows her to stand out. And it is written from the perspective of helping the author herself deal with some things. So from that point of view, I appreciate that she actually goes through that she is able to share that to share those passions and those interests within the written form. There is, however, one aspect where I kind of have to comment a little bit more, and that is the world building of this book, or to be more precise, it's set dressing, because there isn't really much world building in the traditional sense. Rather, there are lots of locations that are described. They are described fairly well, as in you understand what's going, where all the action is going on. But very few of the locations actually receive more of a development, more of a history. There isn't really a particular connection established between the locations and the characters, except for a small number of places. So yeah, from that perspective, the world building or location description is somewhat minimal, only there to further the only there to allow the audience a glimpse into where exactly the action takes place. You could argue that because this is a contemporary book, that aspect doesn't really need to be considered. However, I've read contemporary books that do actually pay plenty of attention when it comes to delivering and establishing that geographical location-based context. So this is very much something that could be done. It's not not just me trying to pull water out of stone. Anyway, the author decided not to do that, and I've said what I had to say about it. Overall, this simple book with a simple premise is nevertheless written with a very distinctive and engaging flair, offering a very relatable and immersive view of a person who is rescuing herself or lifting herself from rock bottom. My final rating for Sushi and Sea Lions is a 3 out of 5. And that was my review. Thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed it, well then please like the video, maybe even share it wherever you think other people will also like the video. If there is anything you'd like to add, either to the book itself or to my review of it, that's what the comment section is for. And if you want to see when my next video gets released, well then please subscribe. And ideally also ring the bell or do whatever else YouTube will ask of you in order to keep you notified. My books, the first of my own Heir to the Empire series, The Next Generation and A Path Not Taken, are available at various book retailers under their respective links in the respective master links in the description down below, right past my social media links, which I also suggest you check out should you choose to. Additionally, I have a Patreon, where depending on the level at which you pledge, you will receive various perks, the specifics of which I will allow you to discover for yourselves. I also have a second channel where I talk about whatever crosses my mind, though it is mostly related to various storytelling media, not related to books or literature. If you want to hear more about my thoughts on books and literature, then I suggest you stay on this channel and go through my extensive backlog of book reviews, writing advice, and miscellaneous other content. If none of those interest you, then I suggest you go ahead and do whatever you want with the rest of your day, because, it is your day after all. And yeah, that was all I had to say. Until next time, I am Jonathan Taylor, and this has been the Heir's Lair.